A clean, lightweight alternative to Python's Twisted. A long while ago I wrote a web spider that I multi-threaded to enable concurrent requests to occur at the same time. That was in my Python youth, in the days before I knew about the GIL and the associated woes it creates for multi-threaded code. Most of the time stuff just ends up serialized. I'd like to rework this code to make it more robust and perform better. There are basically two ways I could do this. I could use the new multiprocessing module in 2.6+, or I could go for a reactor, event-based model of some sort. I would rather do the latter since it's far simpler and less error-prone. So the question relates to what framework would be best suited to my needs. The following is a list of the options I know about so far. Twisted, the granddaddy of Python reactor frameworks, seems complex and a bit bloated however. Steep learning curve for a small task, Eventlet, from the guys at Linden Lab. Greenlet-based framework that's geared towards these kinds of tasks. I had a look at the code though and it's not too pretty, non-PEP 8 compliant, scattered with prints. Why do people do this in a framework? API seems a little inconsistent. Pyth, immature, doesn't seem to be anyone using it right now, though it is based on libeven so it's got a solid backend. Async core from this clip, uber low level, seems like a lot of legwork involved just to get something off the ground. Tornado, though this is a server-oriented product designed to server dynamic websites, it does feature an async HTTP client and a simple I loop. Looks like it could get the job done, but not what it was intended for. Edit, doesn't run on Windows unfortunately, which counts it out for me. It's a requirement for me to support this lame platform. Is there anything I have missed at all? Surely there must be a library out there that fits the sweet spot of a simplified async networking library. Edit, big thanks to Infer for his pointer to this page. If you scroll to the bottom you will see there is a really nice list of projects that aim to tackle this task in one way or another. It seems actually that things have indeed moved on since the inception of Twisted. People now seem to favor a coroutine-based solution rather than a traditional reactor, callback-oriented one. The benefits of this approach are clearer, more direct code. I've certainly found in the past, especially when working with Boost.asio in C++, that callback-based code can lead to designs that can be hard to follow and are relatively obscure to the untrained eye. Using coroutines allows you to write code that looks a little more synchronous at least. I guess now my task is to work out which one of these many libraries I like the look of and give it a go. Glad I asked now. Edit, perhaps of interest to anyone who followed or stumbled on this question, or cares about this topic in any sense, I found a really great write-up of the current state of the available tools for this job.
I like the concurrence Python module, which relies on either stackless Python microthreads or greenlets for lightweight threading. All blocking network I/O is transparently made asynchronous through a single live event loop, so it should be nearly as efficient as a real asynchronous server. I suppose it's similar to Eventlet in this way. The downside is that its API is quite different from Python's socket/threading modules. You need to rewrite a fair bit of your application, or write a compatibility shin layer. Edit, it seems that there's also Kogan, which is similar, but uses Python 2.5's enhanced generators for its coroutines, instead of greenlets. This makes it more portable than concurrence and other alternatives. Network I/O is done directly with EPEL/Q/IOCP.
Twisted is complex, you're right about that. Twisted is not bloated. If you take a look here, this URL, you'll find an organized, comprehensive, and very well-tested suite of many protocols of the Internet, as well as helper code to write and deploy very sophisticated network applications. I wouldn't confuse bloat with comprehensiveness. It's well known that the Twisted documentation isn't the most user-friendly from first glance, and I believe this turns away an unfortunate number of people. But Twisted is amazing, if you put in the time. I did, and it proved to be worth it, and I'd recommend to others to try the same.
Jevent is eventlet cleaned up. API-wise it follows the same conventions as the standard library, in particular, threading and multiprocessing modules, where it makes sense. So you have familiar things like queue and event to work with. It only supports libevent, update, libev since 1.0, as reactor implementation but takes full advantage of it, featuring a fast WSGI server based on libevent HTTP and resolving DNS queries through libevent DNS as opposed to using a thread pool like most other libraries do. Update, since 1.0 C Aries is used to make async DNS queries, threadpool is also an option. Like eventlet, it makes the callbacks and deferreds unnecessary by using greenlets. Check out the examples: concurrent download of multiple URLs, long polling web chat.
A really interesting comparison of such frameworks was compiled by Nicholas PL on his blog. It's well worth a read.
If you want to see more, listen Cybersubscribing.